Okay, topic number 4 on the corporate judicial personality. So we have this doctrine of separate juridical personality. This doctrine holds that a corporation is a juridical entity with a personality separate and distinct from its stakeholders, members, or officers. So consequently, the corporation's properties are not the properties of the shareholders, and the stockholders are not co-owners of corporate asset, meaning dahil ang corporation is also considered a person, a juridical person for that matter, yung properties ng corporation ay pag-aari ng corporation at hindi pag-aari ng kanyang mga stockholders. Kasi ibang tao pa ng corporation, it can own property as a juridical person. So is a corporation liable for torts or for civil liability? So the answer is yes. A corporation is civilly liable for torts committed by its officer or agent acting in the scope of its authority. As a review, ang torts is quasi-delicts. So if yung officers or agent ng corporation nag-commit ng quasi-delicts, pwede maging liable ang corporation. So the rules governing the liability of a principal apply, meaning the corporation is liable for every tort directly authorized or committed by its representative. Take note that the corporation has no physical existence. It acts through its representative. So kapag may nagawang quasi-delict yung kanyang representatives, the corporation can be held civilly liable. Ibig sabihin, the corporation can be sued to pay for damages. And this liability may be vicarious, meaning quasi-delict, or a direct primary if the board sanctioned the act. So if the board of directors authorize the act, then the liability is direct and primary. Mas lalong pwede kasuhan for damages ang corporation. How about criminal liability? Pwede bang liable ang corporation sa crime? Considering that di naman pwede mag-commit ng crime yung corporation kasi nga it is an artificial being. So generally, a corporation being an artificial being, it has no physical existence and it cannot commit an offense punishable by imprisonment. Hindi pwede ikulong ang corporation kasi invisible siya. However, under modern rule, corporation can be held liable for crimes where the penalty is only fine. Pwede lang kasi fine. Pag penalty is fine, pwede nang i-impose yun sa corporation. Pwede siya maging criminally liable if the penalty is fine, hindi imprisonment. So if a crime is committed, the responsible officers, directors, or employees are personally liable for imprisonment in cases where the law imposes the penalty on the officers, directors, or employees. So for recovery of damages, a corporation as a mere artificial being is generally considered incapable of experiencing physical suffering or sentiments such as wounded feelings, anxiety, or moral shock. So dahil walang feelings sa corporation, hindi siya pwede mag-recover ng damages. Specifically, moral damages. So as a rule, the corporation cannot be awarded with moral damages. Pero may exception. The exception allows a corporation to recover moral damages if its reputation is debased, resulting in humiliation in the business realm. So, kung ang reputation ng corporation ang nasira, pwede mag-claim ang corporation ng moral damages. Pero hindi based sa feelings, kundi sa reputation. So, however, the recovery of damages requires proof of the existence of the damage and its causal relation to the defendant's acts. This is the most important doctrine in corporation law, the doctrine of piercing the veil the corporate veil. So the doctrine of piercing the veil of corporate fiction, that's another name for the doctrine, disregards the separate juridical personality of the corporation, making the stockholders, members, or officers liable for the corporation's liabilities or vice versa. Meaning, kapag in-apply yung doctrine of piercing of the veil, yung pagiging juridical person ng corporation, set aside yun. Hindi consider yun. Diretso na doon sa stockholders, members, and officers. Okay, disregard yun. Parang set aside yung pagiging artificial being ng corporation at magiging punishable ang punishment doon ipapataw sa stockholders, members, or officers. And this doctrine is a court prerogative and is applied only exceptionally. Ibig sabihin, ang pwede lang mag-pierce ng bail ng corporate entity is ang court lang. Pero ito ay in rare cases lang. So ano ang grounds para ibaliwala ang juridical personality ng corporation? When the corporation is used as a vehicle to defeat public convenience, or the corporation is used to justify a wrong, or the corporation is used to protect fraud or commit a dishonest act, or the corporation is used to defend a crime, or when the corporation is a mere alter ego or business conduit of a person, or is organized and controlled so that its affairs are conducted to make it an instrumentality of another corporation. Meaning, kaya ginaset aside yung corporate juridical personality kasi nagtatago sa likod yung mga tao para gawin itong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So dahil dito, ginagamit ang corporation sa masasama. So yung juridical personality ng corporation is set aside at saka yung mga tao nakatago doon sa likod niya, yun ang suffer dahil ginawa nila itong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 na ito. So anong mga test to determine the applicability of the doctrine of piercing the veil? The primary test is the instrumentality doctrine or the three-pronged control test, which requires three factors to be present. Number one, control. There must be control by the persons behind the corporation. Number three is there must be a fraud or wrongful act conducted by those persons hiding behind the corporation. And number three, the fraud or wrongful act is the proximate cause ng damage to other persons. So as to control, the control must be complete domination by the shareholders or other entity over the corporation's finances, policy, and business practice, such that the corporate entity truly had no separate mind, will, or existence. So ang mga taong nagtatago behind the corporation, sila ang may control talaga ng finances, policies, and business practice. And then yung fraud or wrongful act must have been used by those persons behind the corporation to commit fraud or wrong, violate a statute, or perpetrate a dishonest or unjust act against the plaintiff's legal right. And then the misuse of control and the resulting breach of duty must be the proximate cause of the injury or unjust loss complained of by the other persons. And the mere existence of overlapping directors, officers, and shareholders alone is usually not sufficient to pierce the veil. Ibig sabihin, hindi yung the mere overlapping lang ng directors or officers of one or more corporation will not be sufficient to apply the doctrine of piercing the veil. So that's the end of this topic.